Now we're ready for simplifying rational expressions part 2. So now we're going to kind of take everything up a notch, and we're going to really bring in those factoring skills. So here's what the problem looks like. So again, find your excluded values, but what we're really going to do is we're going to factor both numerator and denominator, but you're going to look for something that they have in common, and you're going to see what I mean here in a minute. So for instance, I'm going to start with factoring my denominator, x squared minus 5x plus 6. So that's going to be x minus 3 and x minus 2. And remember, we set that equal to 0, so that means my excluded values are I can't have a 3 and I can't have a 2 for an x value. Anything else I could plug in there. But now let's factor the numerator, 3x minus 9. Well, they both have a 3 in common, and I'm left with x minus 3. Notice how I have both an x minus 3 in my numerator and denominator. They are a common factor of both of them. So I can cancel those out, and I'm left with 3 over x minus 2. That's my simplified expression. So numerator, I can factor out a 2, and I get n minus 4. Oh, I forgot. Ignore b. I forgot that I have 2 different variables in there, so clearly nothing is going to cancel out. So we're going to skip that one. All right, for c, I start with my denominator because I want to set that equal to 0, and that's going to factor into x plus 2 and x plus 2. So when I set those equal to 0, that means my x cannot equal negative 2. That's my excluded value. My numerator I can factor as well. X squared minus 4. Remember, that's one of those special cases where it's x plus 2 and x minus 2. Remember, we want to have opposite signs, so that's how that middle term drops out, and we're just left with our x squared and our 4. I've got an x plus 2 and an x plus 2 in both numerator and denominator, so I simplify to be x minus 2 over x plus 2. You can't break apart the x plus 2 into an x and a 2. Those have to stay as one solid piece, so we can't simplify this any farther. So next one. I always like to start with my denominator because I need those excluded values. So m squared plus 6m plus 8, that's going to simplify or factor to be x plus 4 and x plus 2, because I have to multiply to give me 8, but add to give me 6. The numerator is going to be similar to my other numerator. I'm going to get m minus 2 and m plus 2. Oh, sorry, I accidentally used x in the denominator. I should have used m. Okay, so your excluded value, focus on the denominator. Well, I can't have negative 4, and I can't have negative 2. Okay? Now I can simplify between my numerator and denominator. I can get rid of that common factor, and I have m minus 2 over m plus 4. So I look for those excluded values first, and then I simplify the numerator and denominator using my factoring. So let's take a look at these bottom couple. So again, focus on the denominator first. So I have to multiply to give me 5, but they're going to subtract to give me 4 because of that minus. So that's going to be n minus 5 and n plus 1. So my excluded values are going to be n can't be 5 and n can't be negative 1, because that's what I'd get when I'd set those equal to 0. My numerator, this is one of those special cases, I'm going to get n plus 5 and n minus 5. So my n minus 5 is going to cancel, and I'm left with n plus 5 over n plus 1. I've simplified that big, complicated expression into something much simpler. Next one. So I have a squared plus 5a plus 6. So that's going to be a plus 3 and a plus 2, because it has to multiply to give me 6, but add to give me 5. That's going to give me excluded values of negative 3 and negative 2, because when I set those equal to 0, that's what I'm going to get for x. My numerator, again, it has to multiply to give me 2, but add to give me 3. So a plus 2 and a plus 1. cancel out those common factors, and I'm left with a plus 1 divided by a plus 3. All right, hopefully you're getting the idea. We're getting the hang of it here. I'm going to do these bottom two here. So n squared plus 2n minus 8. So since it's subtracting, it has to multiply to give me 8, but subtract to give me 2. So that's going to be n plus 4 and n minus 2. So that's going to give me excluded values of negative 4 and positive 2. My numerator, it's got to multiply to give me 12, but add to give me 7. So that's going to be n plus 3 and n plus 4. Remember, our goal is to try to get something to cancel out. So as you're looking for factored pieces, try to find something that's going to match what you already had in your denominator. So I get n plus 3 over n minus 2. All right, last one. I want to multiply to get 16, but add to get 10. So that's going to be y plus 8 and y plus 2. So that gives me excluded values of negative 8 and negative 2. My numerator needs to multiply to give me 2, but subtract to give me 1, because I have that minus for my last term, so I know it's going to be 1 plus and 1 minus. So I'm going to have y minus 2 and y plus 1. Oh, sorry, I totally made a mistake down here. These are going to be minus minus, because it's minus 10y. So my y minus 2's are going to cancel out, and I'm left with y plus 1 over y minus 8. So that's how we use factoring in order to find our simplified expression.